The largest city in South America, São Paulo's cuisine and art is as multinational as its diverse population of 10 million. With the restaurants of the Jardins district serving every food imaginable to diners from around the world, you wouldn't be out of place going to São Paulo just for the dining. But you'd be missing out on world-class museums, diverse and vibrant neighborhood tours, and crazy good shopping. São Paulo, or Sampa as it is also often called, is the largest city in Brazil, with a municipality population of 12.1 million, and about 21.3 million in its metropolitan region, the most populous of the Americas and the Southern Hemisphere. It is the capital of the southeastern state of São Paulo, and also a beehive of activity that offers a jovial nightlife and an intense cultural experience. São Paulo is South America's major economic center and possesses the 10th largest GDP in the world, though poverty, especially in the suburbs, is still widespread due to the blatant social inequality. Historically attractive to immigrants and to Brazilians from other states, it has a unique cultural identity formed by combining Portuguese and African roots, common to the entire country, with other influences, in particular Italian, Arab, and Japanese. São Paulo is probably one of the most underrated cities tourism-wise, often overshadowed by other places in the Brazilian sun and beach circuit such as Rio de Janeiro and Salvador. It is in fact a great city to explore, with an impressive, and almost intimidating, skyline, unpredictable neighborhoods and architecture, a vibrant culture and arts, in particular street art, scene, not to mention the world-class restaurants and diverse regional and international cuisine available to all tastes. If there is a major attraction to the city, it is the excellent quality of its restaurants and the variety of cultural activities on display. Just south of the city, lies the Parque Estadual Serra do Mar, part of the Atlantic Forest Southeast Reserves, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, a mountain range covered by lush rainforest that faces the coast and provides various ecotourism options. São Paulo is the most visited city of Brazil, but mostly because of business and event tourism, with many of the visitors not taking much effort to explore the city. Those who do so may, however, discover one of the most complex and fascinating cities of the world, where even nearby areas may look and feel like a different city, due to São Paulo's staggering social inequality and variety of cultural influences, and its hard-to-understand urban planning. For instance, if you walk from one end to another of Rua Augusta, which later becomes Rua Columbia and Avenida Europa, starting from downtown, you will pass through one of the city's hottest nightlife areas in Baixada Augusta. A vibrant cultural and business area surrounding Avenida Paulista. A variety of shopping options in the area surrounding Rua Oscar Freire. The green, affluent low-rise neighborhood of Jardim America. A stream of expensive car shops in Jardim Europa. The modern business district in AV. Faria Lima and the ultra-affluent neighborhood of Itame. Although the first impression might be that of a grey concrete jungle, soon it becomes apparent that the city has a great number of pockets of beauty, and fantastic places, and not always expensive, to dine, drink and hang out. São Paulo has three major airports, Guarulhos International and Viracopos for international and some domestic arrivals, and Congonhas for most medium and short-haul domestic flights. If the flights to São Paulo are high-priced, you can check flying to the airports of Campinas, Rio, Curitiba, Ribeirão Preto, or Belo Horizonte. From there you can take an intercity bus to São Paulo. As in the rest of Brazil, most Paulistanos are effectively monolingual Portuguese speakers, although a number of well-educated people will have some command of English, especially in main business areas like Avenida Paulista, Faria Lima, and Barani. English is generally spoken at main hotels, youth hostels, upmarket bars, and restaurants and tourism-related businesses, although a menu in English is a rare find. Spanish is generally non-existent. Most Italians, Japanese and Arab descendants are not able to fluently speak the language of the country where their ancestors came from, with the exception being generally the older generation. Many younger Japanese Brazilians can speak or understand some Japanese but are unable to read or write it. Later immigrants like Koreans and Chinese are more likely to speak their language of origin. Although São Paulo is commonly associated with gray, concrete, and lack of green space, the Atlantic rainforest still covers large portions of the city and even of the municipality. These green areas are constantly under threat by irregular occupation, so the government has turned many of them into public parks in order to better protect them. Parks in the city can be divided into three types. Leisure parks are those with plenty of recreational, sport and cultural facilities, but do not contain considerable amounts of original vegetation. Parque Ibirapuera, see São Paulo/South Central, is certainly the most famous park of this type in the city, hosting various museums, monuments, and cultural activities. There are also plenty of activities for tourists with guided tours for birdwatch, trees identification, and a general and popular one discovering the Ibirapuera Park, all managed by Parque Ibirapuera Conservação. Ecotourism parks are those which are mostly covered by the Atlantic rainforest and other natural ecosystems, and contain limited recreational facilities. They are suited for those seeking an adventure. These include Parque Estadual de Cantareira, see São Paulo/Northeast and Guarulhos, APA Capivarimanos, see São Paulo/Far South, and Parque Estadual do Jaraguá, see São Paulo/Northwest. Mixed parks are a mix between the two above types. They have both leisure facilities and preserved nature areas. They are a nice option if you think that nature is best enjoyed with the company of other people, or if you want to do something more relaxing and less adventurous. These include Parque do Carmo, Parque Ecológico do Tite, see São Paulo/Far East, and Horto Florestal, see São Paulo/Northeast. Football, soccer, is an inherent part of Brazilian culture, and São Paulo is no exception, being home of 4 football teams that generally run in the first division: Corinthians, São Paulo, Palmeiras and Portuguese. The 5 large football stadiums in the city are Morumbi, Allianz Parque, see São Paulo/West, Pacaembu, see São Paulo/Historic Center, Arena Corinthians, also popularly known as Itaquerão, and Canand, see São Paulo/Southeast. A word of warning, however, although most matches are safe and fun events, games between the biggest local rivals, Corinthians, São Paulo, Palmeiras and, to a smaller extent, Santos, have had episodes of violence flaring up. In the majority of cases, such incidents happen outside of the stadium, due to a number of violent fans, ultras. The Derby Paulista in particular, being Palmeiras and Corinthians, is ranked among the most intense in the world. Going to such games can be a risky proposition. Portuguese games are safe, have few supporters, and are very peaceful and curious, meets the Portuguese community in the city. The best things to do in São Paulo include the highlights of the eclectic financial center of Brazil and the most populous city in the country. To say the city is a bustling metropolis would be a huge understatement. From grand cultural events like the world's largest gay pride parade to cutting-edge art galleries and stunning historic monuments, the city will have you coming back to explore more. The best way to get the most out of your trip is to plan ahead, as you can spend a lot of your time traveling from one place to another. Avenida Paulista is one of the most important avenues in the city, and also one of the busiest. On weekdays, locals and tourists hustle around to get to one of the many shops along the avenue. Come Sunday, the atmosphere becomes more laid back and festive, and the avenue is pedestrianized. Street performers, market stalls and bicycles litter the streets, and people spend their day relaxing and wandering around. Watch out for pickpockets, though. Mercado Municipal is located in the center of São Paulo and is a must for any market shopping enthusiasts. It's held in a beautifully grand building, adorned with columns, a dome, and striking stained glass windows. Spend an hour or so exploring the market stalls, tasting some of the unusual produce and buying some if you wish. Because the market is a busy tourist spot, vendors may try to charge you more, so don't be afraid to just try some food and leave. Make sure to also watch out for pickpockets. Ibirapuera Park is a well-loved urban oasis that sprawls across 158 hectares in a diamond-shaped enclosure. As well as being a great place to exercise, the park also has a vivid cultural scene. It has museums, a music hall and holds many popular events, such as São Paulo Fashion Week. On a sunny day, come here with a picnic and relax among the towering colorful trees or beside one of its lakes. If you come without refreshments, grab some coconut water from one of the stands along the park's pathways. You can rent a bicycle at the gates of the park to explore its large green grounds. Look out for historic monuments dotted around the park, such as the obelisk of São Paulo and the monument to the bandeiras. São Paulo Museum of Art is found along the busy Avenida Paulista and is one of the defining attractions of this famous avenue. Along with its stellar reputation, the museum's headquarters are a key symbol of modern Brazilian architecture, with a rectangular glass-paned body held up by two thick beams. Its collection of European art is considered the best in Latin America and the entire southern hemisphere. Gaze upon glorious works by legendary artists such as Degas, Picasso, Modigliani, Monet, and many more. Admission is free for all on Tuesdays. Located in the city center, Pinacoteca do Estado de São Paulo is the oldest museum in the city and is said to contain the best collection of Brazilian art in the world. The majestic atmosphere is palpable in its beautiful architecture and spectacular exhibitions, which mix classic and modern works. Visit on Saturdays for free admission, or pay just R$6 on other days. Visit their cafe, set in the gorgeous Jardim da Luz, and order one of their tasty pão de queijo. Also worth visiting is the grandiose Luz train station, which is opposite the museum. São Paulo Cathedral, also known as Catedral da Se, is a massive 20th century cathedral with a Renaissance-style dome and soaring Gothic-style architecture. Scenes outside the cathedral may be hectic and crowded, but they remain picturesque nonetheless, with skinny palm trees lining the walkway leading up to it. The atmosphere inside is the polar opposite. Visitors speak in hushed tones and the intricate stained glass windows transform the sunlight into colorful artworks plastered across the walls. Walk up to the top of the dome for a great view of the city. Enjoy the serene atmosphere before braving the chaos outside, where you'll want your belongings close to you. Jardim Botânico de São Paulo is a state-run botanical garden, verdant green lung, and pristine nature retreat. Located in the southern Bairro da Água Funda neighborhood, this 360,000 square meter expanse attracts paulistanos from all corners of the city. On a stroll through the tranquil parklands, you'll encounter a wide range of plant species, including orchids, palm trees, and spore-dispersing pteridophytes. Pop by the English-style greenhouse to see exotic flowers in bloom or the garden of the senses to get close to aromatic shrubs. If aquatic plants are more your thing, make a beeline for Lago das Ninfias, Water Lily Lake. Found in the neighborhood of Vila Madalena, Beco do Batman is the name used to refer to the area around Rua Goncalo Afonso and Rua Madeiros de Albuquerque. Here you'll find street art plastered all along the walls, in every nook and cranny. The art displayed tends to change every 6 to 12 months, so there's always something new to see. Stroll along these walls and take pictures of the colorful art. Weekdays are less busy, but weekends hosts a livelier atmosphere, with local artists also selling some of their art. The monastery of Saint Benedict, Mosteiro de São Bento, dates to 1598, though its gorgeous neo-Gothic facade is more recent, added in the early 20th century. Don't be fooled by the church's modest exterior. The interior boasts stunningly detailed and brightly colored art and stained glass windows. You can spend well over an hour in here, wandering around the church, admiring its neo-Romanesque walls and ceilings and reveling in the holy atmosphere. On the last Sunday of every month, a legendary brunch is held to mark the Holy Eucharistic meal. Along with its traditional 10 a.m. monastery mass, Gregorian chants and pipe organ music are performed during the brunch. Food is supplied by the church's famous bakery and by top Paulistano chefs. Brazil is one of the soccer greats. Blessing us with some of the best footballers in the world and the most entertaining games in history, it's not surprising that São Paulo has its own soccer museum. The Soccer Museum aims to show the importance of soccer to Brazilian history through interactive displays, films, and photographs. Upon entrance, be greeted by Brazilian legend Pelé, and continue into a hall filled with television screens showcasing memorable soccer matches. Located in the Pacaembu Stadium, soccer fanatics can easily visit both in an afternoon. Leave with some Brazilian soccer memorabilia and a touch of nostalgia. Parque Villa Lobos is a large leafy park on the shores of the Pinheiros River, about a 30-minute drive west of central São Paulo. Home to over 37,000 trees, this verdant expanse offers a tranquil respite from the concrete metropolis. On-site facilities include soccer fields, playgrounds, cycle paths, a library, and an amphitheater. The park attracts around 5,000 locals every day, even more on weekends and vacations. Keep an ear out for audio snippets of the late Heitor Villa-Lobos, a prestigious Brazilian composer from whom the park takes its name. Another intriguing attraction is the Circuito das Árvores, a 120-meter high elevated walkway overlooking native Atlantic forest trees. The Municipal Theatre of São Paulo is an essential pit stop for fans of performing arts in Brazil's biggest city. Inspired by Paris Pelegrini, this magnificent building is equally attractive to architecture buffs. Highlights include the Noble Room and the Great Hall, both of which feature Renaissance and Baroque styles. Upon completion in 1911, the stately edifice propelled São Paulo as a major theater destination on the world stage. Esteemed Brazilian and international artists have graced its Great Hall, including Enrico Caruso, Villa-Lobos, and Duke Ellington, to name a few. If you're keen to catch a show, check out the latest lineup on its official website. The theater welcomes visitors outside event days for a nominal fee. The Latin America Memorial is found in the western neighborhood of Barra Funda and was created as a cultural project by anthropologist Darcy Ribeiro. The cultural center is most recognizable for the open-hand sculpture set in the main square, which has a map of Latin America on its palm. This large outdoor space hosts a string of cultural and gastronomic events, which rotate almost weekly. The space exists as a monument to the culture, history, and integration of Latin America as a community, with galleries, a library, an auditorium and art sculptures sprawling the grounds. Check the website for details about upcoming events. As you wander around the Liberdade district of São Paulo, it's not hard to see why it could be mistaken for downtown Tokyo. Red lampposts holding Japanese lanterns and bright red torii gates for Shinto shrines line the streets. A myriad of Asian restaurants, shops, and supermarkets are decorated with displays written in Japanese characters. In this area, you will find lots of amazing Japanese restaurants. Make sure to try the sashimi at Izakaya Issa. For some light shopping, pop into the shops which sell cute Japanese products. On weekends, there is a market at Liberdade Square, which sells Japanese street food and handcrafted products. Also check online for any events going on, such as the Tanabata Matsuri Festival, Japanese Stars Festival, and Chinese New Year. MoMA is a leafy neighborhood found in the south of the city. If you're wanting to escape the hecticness of the city, this neighborhood is your answer. With its streets lined with towering green trees, you'll feel a million miles away from the bustle of the city center. The area has more restaurants and cafes than nearly anywhere else in the city and also borders the famous Ibirapuera Park. For some excellent churrasco, head to Fogo de Chão, or Le Casa del Abano for delicious fish. The area between Avenida Ipiranga and Parque Dom Pedro II, downtown, is the closest to what São Paulo has from a central shopping area, with various pedestrianized and non-pedestrianized shopping streets. The exceptionally crowded Rua 25 de Marco, with its diverse range of bargains, is perhaps the most famous commercial street of the area. Avenida Paulista and Rua Augusta, Paulista, form a smooth transition between the popular commerce of downtown and the affluent commerce of Rua Oscar Freire, west. São Paulo has also many specialized shopping areas, such as Rua Teodoro Sampaio, west, for furniture and musical instruments, Rua José Paulino, downtown, and Bras neighborhood, southeast, for bargain and wholesale clothing, Liberdade neighborhood, downtown, for cosmetics and Asian products, and Rua Santa Ifigenia, downtown, for electronic equipment. Paulistanos, especially those with higher income, have an indoor shopping culture. The fear of criminality, traffic, and São Paulo's unpredictable weather are strong factors to this. Shopping malls in São Paulo are not only centers of shopping but also leisure areas, typically offering spaces for kids, cinemas, food courts, and sometimes even theaters, expositions, and sport areas. Many shopping malls in São Paulo also offer miscellaneous services such as banks, laundry, repairs, and sometimes even police stations and doctors. The selection of shops of a mall depends on the type of public predominant in the surroundings. At shopping malls located at working-class neighborhoods, it is easier to find bargain department stores, while shopping malls in wealthy areas may be the only way to have access to exclusive designer stores. Check the individual district listings for a comprehensive list of shopping malls in the city. Some shopping malls that deserve special mention are Morumbi/Marketplace, South Central, with more than 600 shops and dozens of restaurants, Eldorado, West, with an immense food court, Iguatemi, West, the oldest shopping mall of São Paulo, with very upscale profile, JK Iguatemi, West, the newest shopping mall for the wealthy Paulistanos, Cidade Jardim, West, famous for its internal gardens, Aracanjuva, Far East, the city's largest and most famous working-class shopping mall, and Frecanca, downtown, the favorite of the LGBT public. Suburban shopping areas. Far from downtown, there are many suburban shopping areas. The busiest of them is probably the area around Largo 13 de Mayo, South Central, the central shopping area of the former city of Santo Amaro, now part of São Paulo. There are also the open markets, Feiras Livres, and municipal markets, where you can buy fresh and cheaper fruit, vegetables, and meat, supermarkets and atacados, a type of supermarket where you pay less if buy at least a certain quantity, very convenient for families. Most of these local commerce centers are not listed in this guide, but they are of extreme importance in the daily life of Paulistanos. São Paulo has the highest living cost in the Americas, and it's the 10th most expensive city in the world, according to the Mercer Worldwide Cost of Living 2011 survey. However, it should be remarked that such rankings are based on averages, which hardly describe a city as huge and with so many contrasts as São Paulo. It is absolutely possible to enjoy the city's attractions while spending a moderate amount of cash in both accommodations and food. Ask locals for tips how to make the best out of your money if you're on a tight budget. Thank you for watching this video.